All right, guys, so I just did an element change on my oven, and now my oven is running a little hotter than it would normally be. So I'm gonna go over the procedures on how to calibrate an oven just like this, and I'll go over some of the procedures for some other ovens. If you have a caliber or settings button or screen on your oven, it's a lot easier to get to. You just go into the settings, go to calibrate, and then you can raise and lower. But what you do, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and preheat your oven. I've got mine set to 350. I'm going to let it heat up all the way. You can do, they call it a biscuit test or a cookie test or something like that, where you cook something. I'm doing mine with a thermostat. You want to make sure that the thermostat, I put it inside a little pan because it's kind of small, and I have it in the middle of the oven. So I'm going to let this thing heat all the way up and see what temperature we got when it's completely heated. All right, so we have preheated. Got to open this quick to see what the temperature is. It's like around 475. So what we need to do is we need to adjust this. Like I said, if you have a screen, like a computer screen on here, you can go into settings, and I think it's like oven calibration or heat calibration or something like that. There's other ovens where you can hit the temperature down and the time down buttons, but mine uses the bake. So you hold the bake button for 5 seconds, and then you'll get some zero. Oh wait, I'm sorry. You gotta turn it off first, then hold the bake button. Now that's calibrate. So I know that I'm about 25 degrees too high. You do not want to do too much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down minus 10 degrees, hit start, and then hit bake, back to 350, and then hit start to let it heat back up. We're gonna let this sit about 10-15 minutes and then check the temperature again. All right, I kind of changed my thermostat because the one I was using, it was like a probe for a smoker. It didn't really work right. So, because it was showing it was like 400 degrees, and that's not right. So I have this one, which is a good thermostat. And you see, I set my temperature back 10 degrees, and now it's like at about 340. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it back to 0 to see if it will go back up and be right on 350. So we'll let this sit and see what it does. So when I turn it off, hold down bake. Minus 10, I'm gonna go up so it's 0. Hit start, off. Well, I just hit bake and start. Now we're gonna let it sit for about 10 minutes. And that probe should be back. I'll turn the oven light back on. That probe should be pretty much be right at 350. So now after about 15 minutes, we're right at 350. So that's it in calibrating your oven. If I was low, I'd turn it up 10 degrees at a time, let it sit. If I open this up, give you a better look at it. It's right at 350. And then check it each time. You only get 30 degrees to play with it, 30 degrees up or 30 degrees down. So that's usually what the oven gives you. If you got any questions, hit me up and subscribe. I'll talk to y'all later.